This is a homage beat. This is a homage beat. is a homage beat.
Yo, 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 what's poppin', Poms? Hope you're having a good day. I just realized, I think at this point, I should probably start investing in some other stuff. Finally, the person of culture. Yes, that is correct. Hey, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing Hopefully you're doing okay. Currently at the moment, it is, as I check my phone, I think, well, I try not to quote-unquote dox myself, but I kind of want to show you what goes on. Goes on in the good old Cali currently. If you're not from good old California. In other words, it is, as you can tell, 100 and almost 107 degrees. This is just the state all around currently, because where I'm at, it's a little bit lower, thank God. But overall, it's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or I don't even know if I can change it to. Actually, I can just search it up right now, real quick. Hold on. What's 100 degrees. I mean, that's like 37 Celsius, which almost doesn't sound like it's that hot, but it is very. The man decides this trip at 5 p.m. while Blizzard lives it. Yeah, yeah. Kind of. Normally, this isn't like my usual schedule, but it's only due to the fact that your boy has something a little called college, and like college, some of the stuff they give you and make you do sometimes, just like in some cases work too, it can sometimes conflict with what you want to do. In this case, being streaming and possibly other stuff, which hopefully at some point I should get. Speaking of, I need to find some days where I can go back into editing, because there's some videos and stuff that I would really like to be editing right now. For like most of it's like some form of stream highlights, but hey, it's something. But yeah, I was mostly doing a project, which, by the way, speaking of the school stuff, it already feels a bit cool here. I wish that was us right now, because at least then, like, my room wouldn't be so much of a sauna. So depending on how it goes, today's mostly gonna be a short stream, because I'm gonna be honest, like trying to stream when it's like literally a sauna in your room, it's almost impossible. I'm kind of surprised I'm even kind of like dealing with it at the moment, because especially since I have these things called lights. And that can, especially since I usually have to have it completely and utterly bright in my face right now for you to see, my black self. Yeah, it does turn up the heat a bit. I managed to turn it up to a way where it's not in completely like 100%, but at the same time, I'm not exactly happy with how that turns out. But at least currently. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. I need to bring this up so I can really see. But yeah, it's almost basically 100 degrees Fahrenheit right currently, and I'm not exactly in the best of moods for that. But at least then it gives me a chance to. Cause speaking, dude lives in the Western Hemisphere. At him, yo, welcome. Hopefully it's cooler where you're at right now, because right now I am dealing with apparently the worst heat wave we've ever had. Like, I know, like, over in the good old Cali, we have had like some form of like bad temperatures, lack of rain and drought and stuff like that, which apparently at some point was kind of normal around here. But I don't know, it wasn't that bad initially, but I know by the time it hit like 2018 or so and going forward after that, we just been having like just really bad weather. Like temperatures are pretty high when it got to summertime, but it hasn't been like that bad. Like at most it would have been like 90 degrees. I'm just happy I have air conditioning. You are lucky, because over here it's not automatic. It's not like in like because some of my friends live like in places like Texas, for example. And Texas, since it normally does get hot, normally on average, a lot of the houses are built with air conditioning. However, for this house I live at, that is a negatory. We do not. If we do want to get air conditioning, you gotta cop up a little bit of that cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually don't even know how much it is to actually how much it costs actually. How much is that supposed to be exactly? Like the average cost. That's not what I want to do. I'm sorry, what? The cost to install a central air conditioning in the Southern California area typically ranges from $4,000 to $20,000. Yeah, so we're working with that. Yeah, so we're working with that. Also, hopefully nothing will catch fire like that. So, oh yeah. Oh man, why'd you have to bring that up? I just realized, yeah, we have to deal with that. I mean, so far I haven't read anything in regards to that. I actually want to. Okay, now you actually got me curious. Now, my goodness, uh, oh, yep. Immediately, I already see something in regards to like some stuff. Yeah, we already got like some stuff regarding it right now. I like how for some reason I didn't think. I mean, so far it seems a bit minor right now. Because if it was about me, because it's not like it was like from I think 2017, 2018 around then, where like it was really bad, to where like the entire like area from where I was at just started like being not really engulfed with ash, but you can definitely tell. But you can definitely tell like the sky was a lot more wider, and the fact that we had to wear this is like this you can tell this is like way before COVID, because we actually had to wear masks for that stuff. Which I like. You know, actually, you know what's funny about that whole thing about the fact of wearing masks because of all the ash in the air? It's funny how no one really had that much of an issue. Actually, no, I think it makes sense of why it wasn't that much of an issue. But it's still kind of funny how around that time it wasn't that huge of an issue to have masks for that, but now because of the virus, it is an issue. But I think it's due to the fact that we weren't technically forced to wear masks around that time, but they basically say it's a good recommendation if you can't deal with it. And I think I technically had to have one. I think as much as like where it was available. Also, did you hear about lightning being in front of the White House? Oh, that's a good indicator. But no. Oh man, cold coffee really does hit different. But it's been a while since I've even seen anything about related to lightning. Last time I even seen lightning was during my my DC trip, funny enough. And I was a bit was somewhat worried because the hotel I was staying somewhat at the top floor. So of course the moment I saw like the sky being a lot more overcasty and the fact that I saw a flash too, I'm like I don't know how I feel about this. That's basically my reaction to that. Lightning and thunder doesn't really scare me too much, but I think it's because it's like, of course, like the whole probability of even being struck by lightning is very, very surprisingly low. I think it's either as low or lower than actually being able to win the lottery, I believe. But at the same time, it's like since normally when it happens, I'm usually on the lower grounds. Like I'm not really that like concerned about it. But it's the moment like you start getting higher into the atmosphere where you're actually closer to the clouds. I think that's the part where I'm sitting here just like I'm starting to not like this right now. Why is it so much why is it so delicious now? What is this? I think it's just the fact that it's cold and it's hot right now, and I'm actually a lot cooler too. You know what? Yeah, if you want to feel like you're chilling in a freezer, or at least like just hanging about in a refrigerator on a very hot day, just get yourself some cold coffee. So apparently 2 people died from being struck by lightning, and 1 was mentally scarred or had PTSD, and it just so happened to be near the White. What is it? What in the world is that? I'm trying to. That is one heck of a story right there. Not 2 people died from being struck. 1 was apparently mentally scarred, and it so happened to be. I don't know if that's like coincidental or foreshadowing or something like that. But that's kind of that's low key kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, even though it does kind of suck. I remember hearing some stories and stuff about like what's it called? People who have been struck by lightning survived. And I think some of them even got like some form of superpower off of it. Actually, let me search that up. Because I remember watching either a video or reading up about it, and I thought it was actually really cool. Let me see. Lightning induced power. That's not what I want. People who have superpowers after being struck by lightning. I wonder if there's a reason for that, because I mean it would kind of make sense if you think about it, because since of course electricity and thunder has to and lightning basically has to do with electricity, and of course electricity is a thing that happens in the process of your brain and stuff like that for things to function. So the fact that just some guy became magnet, yeah. I feel bad for laughing, but by the way, yeah. People who have superpowers after being struck by lightning. Humans has been the dominant species, the dominant species on this planet. But sometimes Mother Nature. The odds of you getting hit by lightning. Okay, yeah, 1 to 3,000. So if you're, which weirdly enough doesn't feel like that high of a that low of a probability. But there's Tony's, Caesaria, and wait, what type of doctor is that? Orthopedic. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but what does that do? Branch of surgery, musculoskeletal system. Is the branch of surgery concerned with conditions involving the musculoskeletal system? Orthopedic surgeries are both surgical and neurosurgical means to treat musculoskeletal trauma, spine disease, sports injuries. Wait, so let me read this one. If that's the case, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm actually kind of curious if that actually is kind of weirdly ironic. One night he was struck by lightning, but instead of crossing over to the other side, he acquired a new ability. Out of the blue, he had this urge to play the piano, which he had never done before. Now he performs professionally in concert across America and composes his own songs too. That's pretty cool. I wish I had that ability, because at least that will basically save me the time from relearning the piano down in the future. But wait, what does this guy have to do with superpowers? Roy Sullivan is known as the human light rod for a good reason. He's been struck by lightning 7 times, and he still managed to survive. Okay, that doesn't really do much anyways. Also, my room feels like a freezer. Can we switch spots, please? You sure you want? You sure? Because I way do prefer colder environments. I way do prefer colder environments, mostly due to the fact that because if you're prepared for it, you can just wear as much warm clothing as possible, and you don't really. Plus, the body itself is already warm enough, so that just feels like a better time in my opinion. I prefer cold and hot. Now, when it comes to hot temperatures, it really does depends. Because here's the thing, I wouldn't care too much. I would not complain at all about the heat that's going on right now. Only if my house had some form of air conditioning. Because if I'm out, because I was at work a couple of days ago, and for some weird reason, like even though it was like almost like 100 degrees again that day, I somehow felt completely fine. Where I was even wearing the jacket and everything, like and I just wasn't that. I didn't think there's that big of an issue, especially since of course the inside of the store was also cold too. But that's besides the point. Other than that, like I didn't care. I love cold temperatures too. Exactly, bro. I'm learning the piano low key jealous. Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since I played. Even though I played since I was 4 years old, I believe. And it was basically as I was learning it was equivalent to basically taking another being in another school and being in another class. So by the time I graduated senior year in high school, that was about the same time I also graduated from basically my piano class, whatever. And the only thing I do regret exactly is probably stopping. I mean, the only reason I did stop was mostly for personal reasons. And the fact that my family just wouldn't like shut up about me wanting to play in church and all that. But the big issue I will say is mostly just the fact that it's kind of that, try being in that weird position where you're kind of a kid with kind of like no choice in the matter, and you're kind of forced to play an instrument that for so many years without like, and especially I mean, the only at some point I kind of was a little bit like more, I was kind of softening up to playing it at like somewhere around the last couple of years of me playing it, because my only big issue was being forced to do recitals and concerts. And it got to a point because not only was I playing in those recitals and concerts, but I also had to sing too. And as much as I would like to brag that I'm a pretty good singer, blah 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 blah, I did get really bad stage fright at some point. So at some point, I just kind of just stopped wanting to do it altogether. And I did get that wish, thankfully enough, but I still had to do like those piano exams at some point. Those which wasn't that big of a fan of, but I kind of had to do so for, I don't even know what was the reason I had to do all that. Just like, I feel, because at least for school and stuff like that, like of course you kind of continue to do school to get a higher education, and by the time that you're done, you get a certificate that shows that you passed all your years of school, and that they're basically just to show that you're well educated. So if you ever want to get a job, as long as they know that you're well educated to do anything, and blah 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 blah, whatever. But for piano, I don't even, like, it was a completely separate thing too. It wasn't part of like another thing in itself, or like any like that. So it's just a bit weird. That must suck. You should do something exactly. I mean, now I'm at the point now, like ever since after all those years of playing it, like I have like a better appreciation of it. But I still didn't change the fact that since I was kind of forced into it, I'm just like, well, I finally got time to do what I want to do, which at the time was making YouTube videos and all that. But now my only regret now is basically stopping. So now if I ever want to get back into playing it, I kind of have to somewhat relearn. I mean, I still know a good around basics, but having to relearn the movements and everything is going to be a little bit difficult. Yeah. To be honest, I get cold easily, especially my head, since I'm sensitive. Okay, that's fair. But yeah, having a hoodie is always good. I'd be wearing my jacket if it was cold right now, or really cold. Also, I'm a choir student. I didn't even know where the truffle cleft treble clef. Yes. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting going back into it. I mean, I have a keyboard and everything that recently I got working. I just need at some point, whenever I get around to actually replaying it, I can always go back to doing so. I think at this point now, I just need I think all I need really is just actually I should probably search it up, but like a keyboard stand. Cause I don't know what happened to that. Cause now we have like the regular piano downstairs and everything. So that's like the main thing. But I'd rather play them in the confines of my room and not be bothered. But it really just depends on it. I could probably almost turn my closet into something like that, because I just need like noise cancellation or something. But I'm actually kind of curious though. On it. See if I need a keyboard stand. That's what I want. Huh. At least, good thing is only like, it's only like $30 something. Wait, what's the difference here? Like the only thing I don't like about trying to find some stuff on Amazon is that you'll find two different kinds of things that you really want, that look like really good versions, and then you just don't know which one's the good one, because it'll either say #1 bestseller or Amazon's choice. And then one will just have more of it. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, because I don't think I really need to do much about the chair. I can just use this, and I think I still have my regular piano stool somewhere in my room. So it's like, I know what's F sharp and F flat is. Yeah. Part of me always feel like maybe there's probably an alternate universe where I probably was like a professional singer or something. Because the thing is, like, all the times I've done it, like I never really had any form of training. I think that's where like the whole natural talent thing, because I think somewhere part of my family has mostly been like a musical family and stuff like that. So a lot of us play either sing or play something, and I think that's probably part of the reason why I got put into playing the piano for some weird reason. I guess it's because I think they saw me like looking like I was interested in it when I was younger, so it was just like, oh, let's do that. I think I was more interested in playing guitar, and I kind of still want to play guitar to this day though. But I just know like I get it, why it's like money. Yeah, you need money, but Jesus, why are they so expensive? Why are guitars so expensive? It's like pianos I can understand because those are like big chunks of wood and other mechanisms, and especially the one that we have like that I have in the first floor of my house, like that's like something you're gonna need like an entire like forklift to like move it and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, geez, it's uh, mm, mm. Yeah, but I would really like to this day I still play guitar, but I feel like I definitely do need to let maybe at some point, I don't know if I ever want to take classes into it or just try and learn by myself. There was also a point in time I did technically learn clarinet for a good while, but I ended up dropping it. I think it's mostly due to the fact that I think it's because like I keep hitting sour notes at one point, and I think it's due to the fact that I had reeds or something like that that was making it defective. Plus, I was basically using a school one, so I think that's a good indicator on why. Mother kind of drew a lot. Whereas my dad plays saxophone, and maybe that's why I like writing and singing. Is yeah, I think a lot of the times it all depends on like it could be a genetic thing actually. Because music has always been the thing I always liked, but it's just not something I always wanted to pursue. If I did want to pursue in something, I will say, if there's ever a point in time where I just weirdly start transitioning into wanting to do and make music for whatever reason, um, is if I ever do something like that, it's only because like I really want to do something that's completely and utterly different than everyone else. Don't let anything stop you can do it. Yeah, exactly. Because I think my big issue so far when it comes to like a lot of like at least like the popular singers and popular artists nowadays over in the good old Americas, especially over in California, because that's where most of it is being made. A lot of times they all feel sameish, really, and it feels like artists, especially in like in the rap side of everything, the whole rap genre kind of feels a lot like TikTok in a sense. And basically what I mean by that is like, because just like in TikTok, a lot of the times you don't have to do anything spectacular to start gaining like being viral or start gaining like tractability and everything. Like you can just do something dumb, something that doesn't have like a lot of like oomph to it, and you can just start getting traction. People start looking at that, and just start like sharing everything, and you can just, and a lot of the times like some people can't capitalize it and make a career out of it, and then but of course there's always a good finite of people who can't. And that's what it feels like in the rap genre of music a lot of the times, because a lot of the times when I hear just random rappers and stuff like that, a lot of the times it's just same stuff. And since a lot of the times when they try and do something that I've already hear a bunch of other people do, it's not really like a special. I think at this point it's not really a special thing. It's like you could rap fast. I mean, sure, the first person who kind of like showed like that comparison. Yeah, but it's not like I don't. Even though I'm not a huge fan of rap, it's not. I don't hate it because I actually at least listen to a few people who rap, and it's only because they do something completely different, where I actually do enjoy it. But it sucks though because there are some good people who actually has like a lot of talent with what they do. But a lot of the times, like when people, it's like if people try and do other things like trying to rap fast or something like that, it's just like that's not really like a new thing. Like I hear so many people who can do that now, and I think the person who popularized rapping fast, Eminem, like at that point, it's just like once you start having him and then other people recreating or that whole shtick now is like at that point it's just like okay, you can rap fast, cool. Most people even with stutters could probably do that now. So it's just like with enough practice. So what else is it that you could do? And a lot of the times it's just like they don't really. A lot of the times, a lot of those artists can't really do anything else but rap, and it's just like, I'm just like, is there anything else you can do? Because at least now, like so far, a lot of the rappers I do, or a lot of people who do rap that I like listening to, actually do other stuff like sing, and I find that way more impressive. Because of course, not everyone can sing, and there's even some people who can sing really good, without any form of training to do so too, and I think that's really impressive in itself. But at the same time, there's not a lot of people like that, so I'm a little bit. So, plus at the same time, a lot of the times when it comes to those raps, a lot of the times a lot of the songs they create and stuff, and the topics are pretty much same-ish too. There's only like a few that that I do like listening to, because either it's funny, like in a ironic sense, that's why I like listening to it. Like for example, what was this guy's name? Like he's actually a UK rapper. Let me see if I can find him. I think his name is the funny thing is I found this guy because another guy who's who's also technically a rapper. He's more of a comedian really, but he does like I found him through memes because he does like this parody bit where he sounds like a more sophisticated posh British man, and ain't rapping a form of singing. I guess I don't know what's the main definition in regards to that, but the way how it sounds like to me, because here's the reason why I kind of don't see it as that way. It's because a lot of the times when it comes to singing, because usually when it comes to a lot of songs, like the main thing you'll notice from a lot of the lyrics is that they rhyme, like obviously, like a lot of I think that's probably where like the what's it called, I guess that's where you get the gist and like the quote unquote like I guess what's the term I'm looking for, like magic from it or something like that. I think that's the best I could think of. But you'll notice that a lot in a lot of songs where there's some form of like rhyming schemes planned into it, way with words. They do a lot of like interesting styles and stuff like that. And you get like some that just hit different when they say it. They say a certain lyric and it's said in a certain way, or is revealed in a certain way, where you just want to keep replaying. Yeah, rapping is basically in a sense kind of like poetry, except with like music and beat. But the thing with a lot of the times, like, but to me it feels like that's what all rapping is, just basically, which I think isn't that also another thing? It's something called like beat poetry or something. Hang on, let me see that. Which is something. I know there's another term for it, but it's like but it's something similar to that. And a lot of times, and here's the thing, a lot of times with singing and stuff like that, it's just like you can see when it comes to rapping and singing, you can tell there's a similarity, but they're way completely different beasts. Because a lot of the time with singing, they're changing their tune, their tone, there's vocalization, a bunch of other things, and some people can go crazy with it. While for rapping is basically that, but without it. Because they're both pretty much similar. They're all pretty much it's just people basically just saying words, and a lot of times that rhyme. and that's why I kind of hold people who sing more in high regard, because it's basically that, but on steroids. It's people just doing like a bunch of different things that's why you can take two people who can sing, but two people can definitely see the difference and why they either lean with one person or the other. I will never understand rap ciphers. Now with rap ciphers, however, I vividly enjoy that. I don't know what kind of rap ciphers you're thinking of, but a lot of times when I do listen to rap ciphers, I can tell it's all in good fun. Everyone's having fun. It's all based on a topic of a certain thing that people enjoy. And what I do like about it is that they shoehorn a lot of stuff in their lyrics that you can tell that's just a nod, a reference, or some sort of Easter egg to the thing. Like, for example, I know a couple of rap ciphers. I think Rustage, I know some people like Rustage does some. What was that one? Things is one other guy who also did who used to do like the video game rap battle stuff, like the parody off of ERB. What's it called? What was his name? Like Cam something on. Cam Steady. That's what his name was. Those two are like the biggest examples I've seen who make really good rap ciphers.
I think Cam's biggest one so far he's made is mostly based on Pokemon. Those go hard. I really love those. And Rustich, I think a lot of his is based off of anime related stuff, which I really do like. But those are really good too. I low-key thought rapping was just dissing people, like the one with Jay Paulson. That is a form of rapping though, but I think that's also like a completely different thing. Like that's why like stuff like epic rap battles of history was a thing, because it's basically taking that sub genre of rapping and basically turning it into like a series, which I really do enjoy, because not only is it basically giving a nod to like that whole subcategory of rapping, but it also turns into like this really entertaining, like funny comedy song that you can probably find a good small bits of it that you can literally just put on and just enjoy it as a song. And there's not all of them are like that, but you'll find a couple that's like that, and that's something you can just put on your playlist and just go to town. Huge fan of Rusted. Exact, yeah. The only rap cipher I specifically remember is the Smash It. Yeah, that's a good example. I really do enjoy that too. But yeah, but there's not really a lot of. The only really weirdly enough, despite the fact the person I'm about to bring up is basically a VTuber and all that. I think what was her Mori Calliope. I think she was the main person that kind of like made me kind of see rap in a differently now. A lot of her songs like have been all of her songs have been really good, and now basically made me look at rap completely different. And that's when I started getting into looking at different other stuff. That's why I've started looking more of these rap ciphers, and then I started finding some other people who I actually really enjoy. What was this? This guy he's been in part of like a part of a bunch of different rap ciphers. I think his name is Daddy Fat Snaps, I believe. He makes I think he makes similar content as well, but a lot of his stuff is really good, and I can tell he has a lot of talent at what he does, and not even just with just rapping, but I can tell he has a lot of talent. I think some of my favorite ones he's done was a rap about Carnage, one where he used the Batman Who Laughs, I think Guts from Berserk, and a bunch of different. Oh yeah, then the one with Moon Knight too. Those were really good. I definitely say give him a watch, give him a listen if you ever could. And I think he actually made himself his own song too, which I also did enjoy as well. I don't want to finish. I don't want to finish this. I don't want to finish that. I need more drink. Turbo's rap was superior. It's been a while since I listened to it. But yeah, that's mostly my whole take with rapping though. So I'm at the point now where it's like, even though it's not my all-time favorite genre, I can at least understand it, but in a different way. But probably depending on my mood, I will probably argue with other people about it. Because I know there's a whole thing about some people saying like it's not really real music and stuff like that, and it depends on their definition of what it means about quote unquote real music. I still think it's, at the end of the day, it's still technically music in a sense, but my own personal idea about it is a little different. But at the end of the day, it's still technically music. I'm gonna give you a fun fact that you probably won't care about. BTS is actually a rap BTS is actually a rap based group, surprisingly. Like I probably might see what you're talking about somewhere later offline. But I can see that. But I always thought their whole gist was just the fact that it was just a Korean boy band. That was just about it. Which, not even just for the boy band part, but I think just idol related bands in Korea, I thought they already had like enough of that. Actually, I'm curious on how much they actually have on, because I know Japan has a good amount, and their whole idol culture is a whole different it's a whole ballpark. Just like, I think it's almost as ridiculous. Here's the weird thing about like the idol stuff and everything. The real music argument is being, yeah, I can definitely, yeah. But what's it called? Because really enough, like the idol culture in Japan is a different beast in itself, of just how crazy and toxic it can be. But really enough, I don't hear a lot about that with the Korea side of things. It's only when that stuff kind of goes over towards to the Western side of things where we start getting that toxicity. which is kind of funny. So the what you think like the toxic side of Japanese idol company may be, that's basically how it is over in the Western side when it comes to that. Not even that, but I think it was even like that back in the day when boy bands and everything were like a huge thing back in the day. With like I don't know why I was gonna mention Big Time Rush. That was like the first thing in my mind when it came to stuff like that. But I know there's probably other ones too. I think you can mention the Beat. I think my friend can testify because she's like a Beatles fanatic at one point. But maybe she can tell me about that. But I know Beatles is one thing. Man, I'll be late. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Korea. Idol bands. List of idol group. Backstreet Boys slab. I want it that way. Oh yeah, Backstreet. Oh wait, so it goes all the way back to the 1990s? Idol bands in South Korea started to appear after the success of Seo Taiji and the Boys, whose debut in 1992. But in 2012 was a record year in K-pop in terms of number of rookie artists. 33 male groups and 38 girl groups debuted. But yeah, so yeah, it started off all the way back in the 1990s. Oh Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you this. Hold on, where's my But Jesus, man. I like how it started off. Like this is from like the 1990s and everything. I like how this started off like not too bad. Like it's a good it's like by the time it got to like late 1990s to almost 2000s, it's like it's not too bad. Then it got to the 2000s and 2000s, everything from 2000s to 2010s. It's like all right. It's like all right. They're starting to become a lot more, but still not too bad. And then we go from that to this. Like seriously, look at all this nice organized single filed line, and then you got from that to freaking columns and columns and columns of freaking like Korean idol groups. Like Jesus, mate, this is so money. Gundam Style is the best K-pop. Oh yeah, I forgot how big that was. I like how that was a song that everyone can get down to before like Korean idol groups were even a thing. Or even like a thing most people thought about. Whoop Gundam Style. But Jesus, man, just look at all this. I'm actually kind of curious on how much that. Okay, it's not too big, but at the same time, it's only until 2022. You can tell like at some point it's gonna rise. We can come back to this in like a couple more years or so. Yeah, basically fourth generation, which makes sense. First, second, third, fourth. Yeah, basically. God, that's good. That's a whole ordeal in itself right there. Or how many of these things that we have. I like how there's a band in 1996 called Goofy. Oh, that's funny. But BTS since 2013. Then we got Big Bang, EXO, Blackpink, Girls' Generations, Twice, Hot, Super Junior, and Red Velvet. Just a bunch of the third generation being the most successful thanks to BTS and Blackpink. Yeah, I kind of figured. God. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have to close all those before then. Boy, man. It kind of makes. It's funny how the only time it's funny. I've never been that huge of a fan when it comes to like just regular Goofy brand name. Yeah. It's funny when it comes to like idol related groups. I've never been interested in the concept of it. Especially for someone like me who's like so like into Japanese culture too. Like it's not like something like I've ever, it's not like always like a thing that I always like to, I always want to like look into and everything. The only time where I got like any like a pinch of like being engaged in like an idol group of some sort was freaking Hololive, and that was it. And even then, like when it comes to just because the whole Japanese idol like community and everything surrounding it, the whole idol culture is almost just as bad as like when it goes on the Korean side and everything. So I don't know if I want to make like a comparison which is worse, but I can definitely see like the big issues just being like outsider looking in. But Hololive, even though of course it's best to do with VTubers, is a virtual idol group, at the same time that one feels like the most, compared to most of the stuff I've seen and read, that's probably like the most laid back form of an idol group I've ever seen in my life. Because I think one of the biggest things that most people don't realize in a lot of those cases is just the fact like sometimes these idol groups don't really have like much of a say, or they don't really have that much freedom to do a lot of things. What are your thoughts on Gen Z? Oh, we can talk about that in a sec. Make it sound like I have like lots to say, but when it comes to that whole side of everything, it's like a lot of that's usually the whole gist. A lot of them kind of just have, there's like the main thing is like they just have all like these sorts of rules that they all need to follow, especially like very strict rules in the idol side. You can probably search up a bunch of stuff regarding to it, but compared to all the stuff you can read from that to how stuff like Hololive goes and everything, it's like it is. They let them, sure, there's still somewhat of rules because some things in Japan are, well, Japan, but other than that, that whole thing is completely minor. Like at least like when it comes to Hololive, they have like, oh, when it comes to Hololive, they have way more freedom. Sure, they still have some form of contract and everything, because at the end of the day, it's a business and everything, blah, 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 blah. But they have way more freedom. They almost can do anything. Compared to like what you can probably read it from actual idol groups, is like, it just makes you think like, it just kind of makes you think like, bro, why can't all stuff be like this? Like, for example, there was this whole controversy at one point with one of the members who at the end end up having to be who basically end up having to get booted off from Hololive at some point. Unfortunately, it was more stuff regarding to it, but somehow the start of it was like for example, normally a lot of the times when it comes to idol culture, a lot of like, especially in the girl side of things, I think the same thing with the boys too. Like there's always has to be like this strong form of like chastity where they always have to remain pure in whatever meaning that you think that means. But at the end of the day, like kind of like that whole thing about them just like always being reserved specifically for fans, really. But that's pretty much the main thing about that. So in other words, anything that goes on in the back on the lives, like when it means like getting a partner or a boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, they can't really do that. That's usually like a main thing with that. And I think it goes the same thing with like the Korean side of idols too. But you mean a slave contract, right? That's not, but kind of in a sense. But that's basically the main thing. However, in Hololive is just like, I think even the CEOs and managers even like know themselves like, yeah, they're all gonna have their own lives. They're all gonna have their own lives and everything. And whatever goes on in their own lives, that's not our say and everything. They get to do, I mean, sure, like the main thing of the contract and everything is to keep a lot of their stuff, like their private stuff private as much as they can. I mean, mostly because, yeah, virtual YouTubers, they all have a virtual avatar to show who they are, to use as like basically as like a what's the word I'm looking for exactly? But it's like kind of used as the main thing of showing who they are and stuff like that. But anything like when it comes to the personal related stuff, most of the time keep that on the down low. That I don't even know if that's like probably like the contract related thing, but it's just like a good like positive thing. Because of course some people want to have their lives anonymous and stuff like that. But sometimes depending on the idol company, like the moment they find out like some of their favorite like, members and stuff like that end up seeing someone or already has like a partner in some case, like people just flip. They go bananas about it. And one of the people that end up happening to them at one point. But TLDR, that was like people have were really up in arms about that. And then normally in most idol related groups and stuff like that, serious, I guess you can say serious consequences happen. But however, in Hololive, they're just like, yeah, that her business is her business. We got no say in it. Deal with it. And I hate it when idols act. I hate it when idols act like. I definitely get that, especially since the person I'm talking about, it was kind of a byproduct on that, which I'm surprised I didn't see. But at the same time, like, since that is with free, yeah. So yeah, I can see what you mean, Luna, because the person I'm talking in question, I think her name was well, she went by Uraha Rushia. Apparently, I somehow didn't notice this, which is weird. But apparently, that was like a thing that she did, like, which was part of like her gimmick and everything, which I think the best term for that is the GFE or the Grover Experience thing. I'm surprised I didn't see that. I think it's because, like, even if I did, in a sense, on the way she acts, is like, because since now when it comes to home life, like, even though it's still like at one point when it was more of when the whole basis of the community is more Japanese focused, and a lot of us Western people kind of just got shoehorned into it because a lot of us like that stuff and everyone's been sharing it, making clips and stuff like that. We kind of get, the thing about the Western side is, like, we get it. It's like we get, at the end of the day, is it's like, although like they can break the tension of the characters and show their actual personalities, at the same time we know some of the stuff they do is a bit. It's all for good old entertainment. I think that's the main thing. A lot of us on the Western side is like we get it's a bit, we can play into the bit, but at the same time we understand at the end of the day that's what it is. We get it. Sometimes on the Japanese side, is just like they're just so, sometimes I think there's probably a good portion of them that kind of do get it, but some people are just so up in arms about the actual like fictitious thing about it that they kind of just forget about their own reality about it. So the moment when they find out that the person playing the character actually does have some form of partner in their actual lives, it's somehow their world just kind of just starts crumbling, and sometimes it's like stuff like that gets pretty bad. Yeah, people who can't handle that fact that their fave is dating needs to tell exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, I think at the end of the day, us Western people, we kind of just prioritize, like, regardless that they're okay, that they're staying healthy, and that they should push themselves to constantly always have to be entertaining for us. As long as they're feeling good and feeling healthy, their happiness is our happiness. That's just kind of how our mindset goes. But sometimes you will have like that small percentage who will be like that. Also, hi, Olin. Which I don't even know if I would say that. I don't even know if I would say that. Gen Z. I forgot exactly, because I think I'm technically part of Gen Z and everything. Let me look at that. I forgot exactly where Gen Z holds up. Yeah, I'm part of that. The heat's killing me. I bet it does. Because I was drinking some cold coffee, so I almost might want to make some more actually, but people, yeah, that's basically I think that's the big issue nowadays, is that a lot of times people can't seem to separate fiction and reality. So because that's the thing. Sure, because here's the thing. The one thing I can say is, like, even if the thing that the person engaged fictional wise may seem questionable in some cases, as long as they understand that the whole purpose of it is only fiction, and that's all it's ever gonna be. As long as the people don't seem to cooperate both things, as long as people are actually able to not cooperate both fiction and reality, and don't actually mend it together, I think everything will be fine in the world. But I don't know. Some people are really weird. Some people like really feel the need to make that huge of a deal for some reason. And I'm sitting here like, bro, even though some people don't seem to understand, a lot of us don't really take it that seriously, because at the end of the day, we know it's fiction. We know it's fake. It's not, I can't preface this correctly, that it's not real. When does Gen Z start and end? Because I'm sure I'm sadly a Gen Z. So far what I've seen in Gen Z, it seems like, it's between, like, if you're born within the... Wait. Okay, that's confusing. Because since I see Gen Z and then Generation out here, I'm gonna look at something different, because they're making it seem like they say Generation Z is 1990, if you're born within 1997 to 2012, and then they say Generation Alpha is like 2010s to 2020s. That's confusing me. okay, okay, now they're saying 1995. I'm so confused. Either way, if you're born within the years of 1995 to 2012, Gen Z. If you're within the, what's it called? If you're within the year, if you were born within the year of 2013 to 2025, then that's Gen Alpha, pretty much. So in other words, I'm technically part of Gen Z. I'm not with the millennials and all that. But I honestly don't know how I feel about, because here's the weird thing. I think there's kind of like two different sides when it comes to like Generation Z. I mean, because at the end of the day, with Generation Z, I'm Generation Z and I hate it. I feel you. But I think there's like two different kinds of people within this generation. I'll use myself as an example. Where I'm thinking I think the best way I can put it is some people around like the years of course, I think at the beginning of it, which is 1995 to, I'm gonna say at most from 1995 to 2002. I think that's the best I can put it, to where that's like where that's the first half of Generation Z. After that, everyone else is on the other side. Now, the first side was basically where I'm at, because I was born in 2000. I feel these are the type of people who kind of has like a good general understanding of basic reality, in a sense. As much as I'm saying that to myself to toot my own horror, but what I basically mean about it is the fact that because for me, since I was born in 2000, I was born around the time when a lot of like the whole general base of technology was still pretty much on the very small scale. Like, of course, I wasn't born around the time when a lot of like the high tech, most of the stuff that became now the main high tech like titans of today's age was made and stuff like that. But I was born around the time when a lot of the stuff that was made at the time wasn't very modernly technological. Yeah. In other words, as I grew up, as much as a lot of the technologies are still trying to like better itself and improve, a lot of the stuff I did was still relatively old school. Is basically what I mean. So, because that's basically like the first half of it. The other half are pretty much people in the Gen Z crowd who are basically, just like Gen Alpha, are basically born with just the basis of technology. So pretty much by the time they get to the age where they kind of have like a basic understanding of the world around them, they're already surrounded by everything that's about technology. Anything that they can do that can make things easier for them, and how to use and work it, they're already born within it. Me, not necessarily. It's kind of like the best I can say is kind of. Like, for example, I think there was photos of myself back in the day where I was like I think I was like 2 years old, maybe 1 year old or something like that. I don't know how old I was exactly, but there was like a photo of me basically using an old computer. I don't remember which one. I think it was either the computer that we had that I remember back in when I used to live in a different house. We had two computers. We had one that was like an old Dell Windows XP computer, and then we had like a very old iMac. Let me see if I can find the model, but that was and that was basically what I remember. And so far, when it comes to consoles specifically, I think the only ones that technically were the main thing that came out, I believe, was like, I think one of the Xboxes, one of the PlayStations, but the most, at least that I have, was the N64 and the GameCube. That was about it. I feel like the late 90s kids and early 2000 kids are basically making us look bad. Look at them during concert. Yeah. When you were 8, I randomly appeared in the... Yeah. So, oh, crap. Oh, wow. Well, this is basically it. This is basically what I'm talking about right here. This was the baby that I had. At least the old iMac that I had. This is what we had. It's called the iMac G3. This is what we had, because I remember this vividly, because this was even the same monitor, this is like the same monitor related, what's it called, like the color, the form, the shape, everything about it, that it all looked like that. That's basically what we had. In my house we had a busted Mac computer. Yeah, but basically that's the one I had. It was relatively slow, so I didn't think that was the one we didn't use too much of. And I think I continually just used the Windows XP one. But yeah, pretty much a good amount of the technology we had when I was a lot younger. It was revolutionary at its time, but it isn't what we got now. That's all I can say. It isn't what we got now. I don't even know when the first iPhone was made, but I don't even remember when the first iPhone was made, because the one I remembered vividly, the only Apple thing I remember even being a thing that I was very familiar with was the iPod, was iPods, iPod Nanos, iPod Touches, and I think when it came to the phones, I was more familiar with the iPhone 3 and 4. Those were and I think I still have my iPhone 4 too. I think it was completely busted, because I think that was the iPhone I had when I was vividly angry at one point and I smashed it for some reason. But that was the one I remembered vividly. Those were the ones I remembered vividly. But yeah, I think that's just the main thing but I think that's like the main difference between like the two halves of like both generations. Whereas the time when I was born, which was like mid to late 90s to early 2000s, a lot of us were kind of grown up in the time of where we were still in the realm of the old school, but as we were growing up, so was the technology and all the stuff in the new school slowly started coming into fruition. While everyone that was born after that, everyone else was just or already pretty much born in like what you kind of see now as modern technology, and now they're at that point, at the age where pretty much everything technological and everything else was basically already handed it to them. Also, hey Alistair, what's going on? It's me, not work Alistair. So you're not at work this time. Amazing. Oh yeah, there's nothing in there now. Man, I'm so adamant to just make coffee right now, to make more, because it's just because I really do want to make some coffee right now, because I just had some got up a little early. That's good. You came at a time when we were talking about like the different generations, because Gen Z, I'm just not a big fan of how things are turning out right now, especially with how a lot of stuff regarding like social media and stuff right now. It's just man, I'm like I'm not even gonna make it sound I'm not gonna say like mental health was never a thing back in the day, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. Because that's the one thing I definitely remember is that for some weird reason, nowadays people are so encumbered with the idea of like mental health and everything. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah. But in any case, yeah, that's there's just so more familiar. A lot of people are like so inanimate with just like the idea of mental health is like, that's kind of like all they think about now. And now so far it's like almost every person and their mother nowadays have something some sort of mental issue. I just realized how much I love vanilla yogurt. Weird flex, but okay. Charles, when did you get your first phone? I don't remember. I know it was around in middle school when I had it. Cause I don't know. I think it's because due to the fact that since my parents were always technically around me when I was a lot younger, there was like literally no reason for me to have a phone. So I think by the time it got to a point where I'm kind of slowly start being by myself, I think that's when I got my first phone. I was basically I was so adamant to be like, okay, if I'm gonna get my first phone, I don't want those flip phones, because I think at the time the most popular phones at the time was because I know texting was a huge deal back in the day. I mean, it still technically is because no one can communicate nowadays, but it was a huge deal back in the day because it's just like, oh, in the form of just like, oh, well, I don't have the time to be able to call, so being able to send you some words digitally is very convenient. And I really wanted something like that, but I didn't like the flip phones, especially since I know texting on those is going to be irritating. So I think the first phone I got was one of those slide phones. And I cannot tell you how weirdly happy and excited I was to finally get it. Because not only did I have my first phone, so now I can finally be within the crowd of almost everyone else having phones before I realized iPod touches and iPhones slowly became a thing. I just had something that I can call friends with, I can text them, and just feel like I was normal, quote unquote. And so that was basically that. Yeah, but technology, yeah, exactly. Technology evolved really fast. But you're right though. My APA writing teacher made the theme for the whole class mental health. It was awesome. I learned a ton about the topic I loved. I mean, I guess that's good. Sadly, I'm the second half on another second half. I feel bad. I don't know. The weird thing about social media though is around the time when, because here's the funny thing about social media is the fact that like nowadays, like the concept of it now is, since it's way more mainstream and everyone and their mother is doing it, because of the oversaturation and how people are portrayed nowadays, that's what made it bad. But the fact that around the time when it first started, it was more like a niche. That's when it wasn't too bad. Because I remember back in the day when I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos back in the day, that's when I started realizing, you know what? YouTube, I can see it going places. I found so much stuff that's way entertaining, more stuff I can find than the scheduled, organized programming of television. So I remember watching, like, back in the day, a lot of Minecraft, Tobuscus. I watched a lot of Chugga Conroy, all that stuff. And then just random videos nowadays that probably would get flagged as an age restricted back in the day. Or at most probably demonetized because that was around the Xbox Live days where most people can't survive nowadays. But that was something I was I remember vividly and I would very much enjoy. And that's what, of course, got me the idea and be like, oh, I want to do this too. This seems like fun. And it still technically is fun despite how I am mentally, not like just in a very weird predicament. but in any other case, I think that's just the main thing. Anytime there's like a thing that you know might be popular, but it's still in a niche, in a niche spot, that's when it was good. Or like just like a time where you can't really replicate how good it was. YouTube was a good indication. Twitch is a good indication. Newgrounds is another. A lot of those different websites all was like in a specific point in time where there was like this genuine like section of community of like people who know about it, enjoy it, and wanted to get other people to be part of it. And it wasn't like a thing where now you have all like these corporations and other stuff that's just like that want to take like a weird grab of it and start just making it into something that making it into a way where it was a shadow of its former self. Back in the day, I watched Thomas the Tank Engine, Dat TDM, plus a dash of Sonic X and Sonic Boom. We're 12-year-old white boys with screwed the yeah. It was more than, let me just say, it was more than just the N-word, but yeah, you basically get the gist on that. But I'm over here just like, that takes me back. But then I forgot. I never did Xbox Live. That's the weird thing. Despite the fact that I'm at the point now where that's like the main thing I enjoy. For some weird reason, I don't know why, but I think I know the reason why I never did Xbox Live, but it's mostly because I was stupid and didn't realize the other ways of doing Xbox Live. Because at the time, like, you needed the Xbox Gold member. Because I think the only time I could have done Xbox Live was during the 360 era, and I didn't have that good of the 360. I had the very old, like, model of the 360, like the kind where Wi-Fi wasn't built in. You needed like an extra adapter to do it. So the only way I could have done it is with an Ethernet cable, but I was stupid, so I couldn't realize you could do that until way later on. My brother was playing Call of Duty when he was 6 or 7. That was basically the average. The average amount of people who play Call of Duty. I still love the fact that a rated M game, for some reason, a rated M game is. Oh wait, there was a meme I saw about it. Cooley FDK, yo, what's up? Where's that meme? It's like it's Splatoon and Call of Duty. Call of Duty meme. Basically, oh, here it is. If you're looking with the name change, I guess so. Yeah, oh, here it is. Here we go. I probably should make this a little better, actually. Why is it so small? God, you know what? It's whatever. But basically this. I don't know why. This was one of my. This is basically true in a. That's basically true in a nutshell. Which I don't understand how backwards that can be, but that's how it is. And the best way to understand is mostly just look at like the tournaments and I guess like the people playing it nowadays and pretty much. But yeah, I love it. Speaking of, I think I'm supposed to be. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think the game's supposed to come out in 2 days. I never actually played Splatoon, but I promised one of my good friends that that when the moment Splatoon 3 comes out, I'll be playing it with her. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Blue plays it too, no? Blue. I like how that's the reason. I'm like why that's good because of her. I think it's like I'm kind of warming up to it. At first, I didn't think I was gonna be that big of a fan of it because I'm not that huge a fan of a lot of first-person shooter-related games. The only one I really play and I still play to this day is Apex, and that's because it's a little bit different than all the other ones. But the longer I've been looking at it, and of course looking at some videos regarding to it, and I guess the community too, I'm like, you know what? Maybe at some point I'll give this a try. I don't know when. And then that was around the time when Splatoon 3 it started announcing, and I'm just like, and then I basically promised to Blue being like, you know what? Whenever this game comes out, I'll humor you. I'll buy the game and we'll play and see how that goes. And watch me saying that now. Now I'm just gonna be addicted to playing that game, and then you'll probably see me streaming it. I've been on Val now. Good old Valorant. I don't know how I feel about that. Valorant exactly. I remember how I used to be really into Valorant at one point, and then now I'm just like, now it just feels like every other game. Had a sad realization the other. Oh, what was that, my guy? What was the sad realization? Explain that. You can go ahead and type that while I go over here and get some good old water. Mini fridge for the win. That's all I can say. Mini fridge is for the win. I cannot tell you how useful having this in my room is. Especially the fact that the last time I try and I even wanted to get a mini fridge, and when I asked my parents about it, they're like, no. That is not happening. And then all of a sudden birthday comes by and be like, oh hey, look what we got you. I mean, the ultimate, that's all I can say. If you're ever a parent for whatever reason, just pull the no, you're never gonna get it ever card, and then all of a sudden get it for them for their birthday. And I don't know why. I just find that just the funniest realization ever. Where anytime I used to ask for anything for my parents to get, or ask them what they think about me getting it, they're like, no, don't get it. It's not good. It's not gonna be great. And then all of a sudden, somehow discourage me for even thinking about getting it because of them saying not to. And all of a sudden, birthday comes by and be like, oh hey, guess we got you a mini fridge. I'm like, all right. That's what we call. I was gonna say that's what we called. I'm gonna call a privilege, having some form of privilege, but I think in all naturality is more of a what's it called? Single kid privilege right there. Being only child privilege. That's all I could say. I'm not gonna be able to do any calls for like a long time. I started school on the 28th and got 2 other roommates, and there's no room for mic setup. I'll be man. That's definitely gonna be tough. I was saying because of course like it's not always easy to try and do calls. I guess when you have roommates, or something like that. Because I don't know what exactly you mean like a long time. Just for the time being until you can figure out a way to deal with it, or just for a good while until I guess college finishes or the semester finishes. I don't know. Dude. Oh man, but that's gonna be very, very tough though. I'll be fine, man. It's definitely gonna suck though. Cause since mostly because it's like I don't know a lot of people I can definitely play a whole scooter on. Yeah, I do know it definitely will suck a little bit because it has been since it's not. Every time I can have like a person I know that'd be fun to play a certain game I really enjoy. But I'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll be here waiting for you, my dude. If you do somehow find a way to figure out a good way to deal with all that, then I'll be here, Mike. I'll be here with open arms and a firm handshake. I hope when my birthday comes, I get a third controller so me and my brothers can play Mario with me. Since what Mario game I'm getting? One thing I will say, I would really like at some point. I would really love to play because it's been a while. It has been a while since I played any form of Mario game multiplayer wise. Wholesome chart, thank you, Mike. That's as much as you're gonna. That's as much as you're gonna get. Because at that point I'm already tapped out. But yeah, it's because I always wanted to play like 3D Land multiplayer wise, because that seemed really fun and really good for content, but or just in fun, just fun in general. But as much as like Mario, you do a lot. Okay. But because I know for a fact, because I like how I first mentioned like me getting the mini fridge is part of only child privilege, but then now I get to like the stuff that's not a privilege, which is being alone. I don't know. It has its benefits. It definitely does have its benefits, but yeah, that is how it be. That's just how it be. Well, yeah, but who knows? Maybe if oh, you got the Luigi U too. Oh, okay. One thing I will say, I'll be very surprised if I ever get to that point where I just somehow just get really addicted to Splatoon all of a sudden, and then now I just start, and now then at some point you just see me streaming it with Blue. I mean, hey, that'd be fun, but just imagine that. But yeah, there isn't really a lot of like specific chill games I can stream. That's the only sucky thing. Apex technically would have been it, but I know it's definitely gonna take a while, and it's only because for some of the thanks for passing the gas, but thanks for passing the gas, Alistair. But sometimes trying to stream Apex, especially when you're gonna want to get like recording content out of it, doesn't always work 100% of the time. Sometimes I kind of have to get nerfed to stream it in the first place, because sometimes like me having the usual frames I normally have, some reason it never works it never works entirely with it. Yeah, thanks. You can become ninja plus Splatoon. Wait, what was that? Wait, what did that pull mean? What did that pull mean? So if I could somehow find another game like that, it would be kind of cool. Jesus Christ, man! Too much. What's with all the beans? Ah, no, my thing. All the beans, mate. We do a little trolling. Thank you. Dude, you need to do the Mario Kart stream. I'll be the most toxic day. I really need to find a time to do that too. I don't know. I think I just need to get used to just I think just streaming in general, really, and just finding a good time to do that. Which is part of the reason why I'm kind of sad I wasn't able to do so during like the summertime and everything, because that would have been a good time. But then of course there's other issues, mostly within here, but mostly really work. I think that was just the bigger issue. It was mostly just work. Hopefully at some point I can plan a day for that. That'd be really fun. Maybe that can be for like I can plan that for like an anniversary thing, or something related to when I hit a certain milestone or something like that. Blah 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 blah. Probably that'd be great. But yeah, it's still somewhere in the back burner. Mario Party Superstar definitely. That can be like a fun thing I can plan with friends. Either that or Pummel Party. Because of course after making that video for my friend Marcel, like freaking Pummel Party has been like an interesting like alternative to just given what he was able to do. It just seems pretty fun. I don't know, man, but I don't know what this Alistair guy is. He pretty funny though. He funny though. It'd be sad if we won't be seeing him for a good while, but just make the most. All I can say is make the most that you can. Make the most that you can. But yeah, hopefully I can find like one of those chill games at some point where I can maybe at some point I can finally get around to playing a lot more Apex for stream, depending on how that goes. I'm surprised Valorant wasn't one of those games. Never stop because you can become super. I kind of hope so, in a sense, that if that ever does happen. I just know, like, because here's the thing. At least then, like, if I somehow do ever become so at him, at least then I'm more prepared on how to deal with it. Because I think one of the biggest things I've seen for a lot of people who somehow randomly just get a boost of attention and everything, it happens in a way where they're not expecting it, and now they're just in here just like I don't know how to deal with this. This is a bit sudden. How do I deal with this? And it's either like they just don't take advantage of it in a better way, or they just can't seem to like, or they're just not prepared to deal with that whole thing. Because sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming, which is understandable. Because a lot of people can just be so used to just dealing with just like 5, 10, maybe even 15 people coming by to their streams every time, or a good amount of people that watch their videos, and then all of a sudden they just get like this huge boost of like viewership, and now they just get hit with a bunch of different stuff they weren't expecting, like a lot of attention, a lot of compliments, a little bit smidgen of negative comments. Of course, they're always going to be that no matter what. And so pretty much, so yeah. So, but at least given how I've seen how other people deal with it, and also my certain quote unquote plans and how to deal with this thing in a long-term sense, I think I'm probably a little bit more prepared. I just know if that ever gets to a point where I do have like that huge attention that I can definitely capitalize off of, I'm gonna have to change up my tune. That's all I can say. Because given the way how I'm been more laid back with making content stuff, that's probably definitely gonna have to change. You still remember me when you were Richard Faye? Why do I feel like I've been asked that question before? But yeah, definitely. Like that. I'm not gonna be like one of those people. I think I mentioned it beforehand, but I play Apex with billionaire. Imagine me being a billionaire, and then at least then like at least then if I ever do, that's the one thing, like it kind of makes me think, how will I act if I, because I already say a lot of the time, like, oh, if I did make this amount of money, I'll definitely still act the same, which I'm gonna be honest, I still believe that. At the same time, like me saying it and me being in that position can be completely different, but I think at the end of the day, I'll still be the same person. I don't think I'm gonna care. I think the only difference would be is just that anything that I want, I can get if I really need it. But then, because even then, like I technically have the disposable income to get a lot more stuff for like just me personally, but I look at that and I'm like, do I really need that? I mean, I can get it now, but I'll just be thinking about it, and then I'll of course. I hope Nux remembers me too as the crackhead plays you go. I definitely will. Because I think like because I think I just know, like, at least, like, depending on how, like, if I ever get that big of attention, depending on how I deal with it, it will definitely depend. I definitely will remember. I just know, like, for some people, it will definitely be difficult. But I definitely will try my best. I will definitely try my best. I think the one thing I know that will be I just know, like, depending on how much attention and how much that will grow, it definitely can be a big issue. Because not everyone will be able to do that. And a good example, if you know Markiplier, I think I remember seeing something that was a big issue. With Anthony Padilla, one of the guys from Smosh. Because what was one of the things? It was something I remember in regards that the Markiplier said. Oh yeah, it was this thing.
You
know, and literally first thing he'd do as a billionaire is buy every Apex skin. Man, I probably won't do that. Because even if I have all the money in the world to do that, it'll be a waste of money. But here, this is the thing I think that's like a big indicator. Brain. There we go. Is that?
You know, the memes of me crying all the time.
What were you crying about in the actual?
What I was crying about is like someone made a compilation of fan reactions thanking me for making content. The reason it was so sad is because I had this realization when I was watching that I would never be able to have a personal connection.
Because you were too big?
I got too successful. That is something that people don't realize how much it affected me, because not a lot of people have that same connection with the audience they have. I literally grew up as a human being with these people, and to know that I would never be able to have the kind of connection I had when I started, that was devastating to me. You know?
Yeah, that's basically the main thing I was trying to get at. Exactly. Because in other words, like, that is an inevitability at some point for that I'm not sure, like, how in a long-term sense how I'm gonna feel. But again, like I said, I definitely will try my best. But I do know, like, I'm definitely with Mark on this, where it definitely will be difficult. And at least that's like one thing. That's one thing I will say for like a lot of different content creators and streamers that that I can at least like give some sort of leeway about is that they at least can that basically definitely at least try. They try and at least form the connection and community that they have. But they know in a lot of cases, like individually based, it's way difficult. It is definitely way difficult. Mostly because, of course, it's like at that point the only way they can ever continue to have like this form of individual connection is either with the friends they've already made within that small community, or just the friends they already have. And of course, business related stuff that I don't want to get into because that's a whole other thing. But of course, that's like a good indicator there. But I know, like, at least for a lot of other content creators, they have managed, in a sense, to like do like some form of alternatives with it. Which, for example, of course, is like going through conventions or planning some sort of event, or going to these said events, or just in general, and going, or some of the ones that for some reason go on tour for whatever reason, or and then, of course, within these conventions, they have these little things where they can go and sign things and stuff like that, which that's going to be another thing in itself, because they feel less like content creators and more like celebrities, but that's a whole different ballpark in itself. Would never farm parasocial relationship. Yeah. I think that's definitely something I do want to also clarify as well. Is just like, as much as like, of course, like depending on the people that's in communities as well, like that, like if I do form like personal connections with, that's one thing. Of course, that can definitely happen. Like I'm not gonna pretend like that's never gonna happen. People do that, and even when some of the ones that get big, some people do that in some cases, whether for better or worse. But yeah, when it comes to parasocial relationships, like there's a good indication where this has become sad, really sad. Yeah, it definitely can be really sad. Especially the way how Markiplier puts it exactly. And imagine next time. There was one. I don't know if I ever will go to VidCon. I'm gonna be honest. There was a point in time I did really want to go to VidCon. But now since VidCon turned into like this whole thing, like it doesn't seem worth it exactly. But there will be some times where I do go to conventions, but it depends on the conventions. Maybe there'll be like some anime conventions I probably would like to go to, because I think Anime Expo, I really wanted to go to at one point. I think there was a point in time where I probably could have went to Comic-Con too. PAX actually sounded pretty cool. I think one of my good friends really wanted to go to, I don't know if she still wants to, but TwitchCon was probably another one for some weird reason. I don't know, that one did seem kind of fun. But yeah, there's a bunch of different conventions, and it really just depends exactly on, because of course gaming is probably still gonna be a big part of my main, of like what I do, content wise. Same with anime, of course. So either or would work. But I don't know if it'll be something that'll be announcing. I know that's like a big thing back then, but so maybe Nux at Sonic Revolution. Is that a thing? Wait, that's a thing? Wait. How did I never... I feel like I probably have heard and seen this before, but how did it take me this long to realize this was a thing? I feel like did this have to do with all those videos from back in the day of like because I know there was videos and stuff of these small little venues and stuff like that, people celebrating Sonic, and I think there was also videos of like with Crush 40 also there playing and stuff like that. Does that have to do with it? Because if so, why did it take me, if that's the case, why did it take me that long to figure out that was a thing? Man, I'm somehow just losing it there. Jesus. Maybe one day I'll be able to go to some of these conventions, depending on whenever is a good time to do so, when I can. I don't know, maybe if my friend is still really wanting to go to TwitchCon for whatever reason, maybe that'll be the first convention. But Sonic 182 staff met Sonic Boom Rider. Like Sonic 182. Yeah, I'm somehow missing that. But speaking of Twitch, actually, as I search this up, But speaking of what's it called? Speaking of Twitch and stuff like that, which it'd be kind of weird me even mentioning it because I do stream on Twitch and all that. Yeah, but who cares? I'm not sure if you've noticed, but if you're somehow Sonic Song one, okay, I'm actually looking at the right person. Huh. I wonder what's the deal with this actually with this person. Oh yeah, I forgot. I really enough. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I didn't connect the dots with that. Because it said home of the Sonic Heroes. I remember seeing videos of of that in my recommended, but I never actually got along to reading not reading, but watching it. Huh. Well, that's interesting. But speaking of Twitch and everything, what's it called? But if you're someone who was like in my Discord or probably, I don't even know if I mentioned this on Twitter. So even if you didn't follow my Twitter, I don't even know if I mentioned it, but I did mention it in my Discord and stuff like that. And, it's the fact that Twitch for some weird reason is, I'm gonna have to look into see when exactly they're getting, on when they're getting rid of it, but they are getting rid of the host function. And if you're not familiar with that, Twitch has always had like these different functions that you can do, which I know YouTube is starting to do now, at least like one of them, because I know YouTube is able to do has the rating function and stuff like that, or as YouTube calls it, the redirect, which in other words is something I don't normally do, weirdly enough, and it's only due to the fact that most of my friends that I follow on Twitch either don't stream that often anymore, or they just don't stream exactly the same time I do. So which does, of course, so a lot of times, like if you follow me on Twitch and stuff like that, and you expect me to like try and raid people to find someone else after I'm done, yeah, good luck with that. But I'm gonna ask you to delete this. What? Wait, delete what? Excuse me. Yeah, I guess you're talking about the thing. I still love that. I really need to. If I ever talk to my friend Corals again, I need to thank her for like making that whole edit for me. But please delete this meme. But so far when it comes to like Twitch is able to do the whole rating function, which of course if I'm ever done streaming, I could find someone. It can even be someone random to like just send my viewers to and check them out. And then as I'm doing, and weirdly enough, when you do rate someone on Twitch, it also hosts them at the same time. Which all it pretty much does is that if I'm hosting someone, whether it be manually or automatically, if I'm not streaming, you can see the person streaming and everything. And if you want to go to their channel, you just click on the button and stuff like that. Which is still a useful feature in itself. But for some weird reason, Twitch for some reason thought it would be a good idea to get to be like, you know what? I don't think it's working exactly like we want it to, so we're just gonna remove it. Yeah, how's that sound? And all of us were just in here, just like, why? I mean, Twitch has already have been doing like some weird just decisions in itself, but some of the like, this is more of a minor decision in itself. And even then, all of us are just sitting here, just like, why? I think I have it around here or something like that, where I can give this is where I can actually show the like on like the idea for, or at least like the reasoning for it. What does it say? It says host mode is going away. Oh, October 3rd. So not too long. So it's not gonna be too long yet. October 3rd. After this date, the host chat command, the host channel stream manager quick action will no longer be available. In addition, auto hosts will be changed to. I mean, that's already a thing. I mean, that's technically already a thing, anyways. Like that's already gonna be a thing, anyways. Because I know, like, if I go to myself, for example. Because I know, like, if I go to myself real quick, what's it called? I can just click here, and and it's already technically a thing. Yeah, it shows it right there. and at least the cool thing is like you can do that. It has that function, and so basically anytime any of these any of these four, I like how I say that because like one of them probably doesn't stream anymore, but like one of these four people could stream, and then it'll just pop up there. I'm really tired, man. I might just take a 10-hour nap soon. Man, nah, it's understandable. I'm surprised I'm not too tired right now because honestly the heat's been getting to me. Actually it's been getting relatively cool, so I might turn on the fan actually. But in any case, now they're gonna take that off, and now all you pretty much have is just these. Anytime they stream, then you just have to go all the way down here and then find out if they're streaming and click on that. So the fact that they're removing this is on. I just don't understand why they would do that. It makes no sense. When are you? Wait. Why are you deprecating host mode? We introduced host mode in 2014 to make it easy for streamers to give their viewers another stream to watch when they went offline. Since its launch, we learned that streamers want to share their viewers with other streamers to help them grow, and have introduced features that help you do that. We made the decision to deprecate this feature because the experience it delivers to viewers doesn't match their expectations when they come to Twitch. Viewers want to interact with streamers when they're live, and host mode blocks this from. Yeah, so the reasoning for that, of course, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But what time is it right now? It'll technically be 9 o'clock. You should be fine. What am I saying? Why do you have to be tired for? It'll be almost. Yeah, sure. It'll almost be 10 o'clock, but you should be fine. Nah. but I don't. But other than that, like, me trolling is trolling. Me sarcasm is sarcasm. But so far, I've been seeing in these comments right here, a lot of people have been saying the exact same thing, saying like, if that's the case, then why remove the feature? You know, you could, here's a suggestion, fixing it. Even this person said it themselves, saying getting hosted 5K people when you're new is bad. Actually, people can't chat to you directly without pressing a button. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, if the person wants to check out the person that's being hosted, you just got to click an extra button. Like, how is that difficult? Like, at least with like rating is a lot easier because it literally just sends the people over there. But hosting is just rating, but with extra steps. I don't know. It feels, because at least then with hosting is basically doing a raid, but only when you're offline. So in other words, it's basically saying like, so you can just be like, oh hey, I'm not streaming right now, but hey, I'm gonna host some of my friends that's gonna be streaming at this time. Hopefully you can check them out, and then /host them, and there you go. If people go to your channel, like to see the person that, I don't know, Twitch doesn't make any sense. Sleep while on the toilet to maximize efficiency. My lord. My lord there. So, in other words, I don't know. Twitch is going in a weird direction that I don't understand. I'm just hoping YouTube just makes things better. I think I already mentioned it like in my Discord and stuff like that, where my only real complaint so far with how YouTube does streaming and everything is mostly... I think it's only two things. My only two issues is their functionality with the rating / redirect feature, and of course their the recommendation requirement on using a lot of their live streaming features. I mean, at least the good thing is like they enabled some features that was only locked at to people who meet the requirement, like the simple ones, like clipping and what's it called, and being able to at people and using the at links and stuff like that for videos and other stuff. Like, I don't know why they locked that feature initially for those people, but now they actually made it so everyone can use it. So thank God for that. I think same with the timestamps too. I think that was locked at one point, but now it's like everyone can use it. But here's the thing. I understand why the requirements are even the thing to begin with, because of course, like, they don't want to have everyone be able to use these functions. Only a select few who want to take YouTube seriously should be able to use these functions, because a lot of them has to do with like, of course, better community and of course monetization. But some of the ones that's more community based and also helping people to like, what's the word? To get a better like rise in attention, it would make more sense for them to be able to either make it so everyone else can have those features, or at least lessen the requirements. I hope YouTube returns the dislike buttons and ban YouTube Shorts to the shadow room. As much as like I can understand like the issues some people can have with YouTube Shorts, I think YouTube Shorts is actually a pretty good feature, especially if you want to get more attention to your channel and stuff like that. Because like it or not, people have short attention spans, and that's why TikTok is so popular. But at least YouTube Shorts feel way more like bearable, especially algorithmic related and stuff like that. But I kind of at the same time, like, here's the weird thing with the dislike button change that they did. I probably wouldn't care too much about it if, and only if, they give you the option. Because the reasoning for why they disable the showing the dislike function makes no sense. Like you can probably, like, when you hear them like and they explain it, you'll be like, okay, I get it, but that's a stupid reason on why you should disable it fully. Now, if they were gonna go with regardless on people cry for not doing it, if they did it and let people have the option, if they want to disable dislikes and leave likes public, then whatever, no one's gonna care, because every normal person would keep likes and dislikes public. Then there'll be like that small few who probably don't want dislikes available at all, and so of course people will be like, okay, you do you, boo, or something like that. And then of course there's some people who just take likes and dislike off for reasons. Luna, that's optimistic thinking from TikTok. That's where they're trying. I mean, yeah. That's like the only reason why I'm still hesitant about even thinking about making a TikTok account strictly just for posting my clips and stuff like that, is mostly because of that. I mean, sure, people like to make the argument about why would you even care about that? Like, America already has a bunch of like social medias where people spy or use our data and stuff like that. And I'll be like, okay, touche, but counter reason, at least it's within our own country. The only people I can say where you can at least have like some sort of like issue in regards to it is Facebook, because Facebook is another thing in itself, especially when I guess Facebook had that whole controversy about like what's it called, of like selling the data to other countries which is mostly just for money. That's just basically, it's mostly just for money. But that's the main reason why I don't use Facebook. The most I have is Instagram, and even I barely use that. But that's that. At least when it comes to everyone else, as much as you can use it as a comparison for they do the exact same thing, at least it's within our own relative country, which last time I checked is not a totalitarian regime. Last time I checked. And also not only that, but at least we know, like, for a general reason on why they're collecting our data, which is mostly just for other companies to share and use for like their genuine algorithm for whatever reason. Well, sure, if you want to call that unethical or shady business practice, go ahead. I'm not going to argue with you, but at least then it is way more safer and tolerable whatever goes on in China and their whole thing. What I mean by the dislikes is so I can see how many people dislike YouTube Rewind. I mean, so far, at least the good thing is you can find like browser extensions for that. That's what I use, which so far is pretty good in regards to it. But it would have been nice if YouTube just, at least, like, if they're going to implement it regardless, just give us the option. Don't force us to use it. That's like that's just the only thing I wish. It's just that they didn't force you to do that. Now, if Facebook's worse than TikTok, I ain't giving my data to a cyborg lizard AI person. I mean, to each their own, I guess. I mean, regardless, like, both are bad regardless, and I'm not gonna be bothered to use Facebook at all. And I say that yet, I also have Instagram, And yet, but at the same time, I try my best not to use Instagram too much, which kind of is weird because I technically have 2 accounts, one private and one for my public thing, which I technically need to use more, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to use Instagram for, really. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, all I can say is to each their own on that. Regardless, I probably would never use Facebook, really. Nor I might at some point. I'll probably will bite the bullet for TikTok, but it'll probably be something I won't. But it's my decision if I want to. In reality, and yet I don't know if I ever will. But if I ever do, I'm gonna be like I said, I'll be very, very strict. All I'm pretty much gonna be using it is for algorithmic in gains, and also to bring more attention to me, my channel, and brand. That is it. That's all TikTok is gonna be used for, is to upload content, upload my clips, give me more attention, because for some reason that stuff on somehow, like how viral stuff go on TikTok is a weird thing in itself, and that is it. Not gonna follow anyone, not gonna use it for personal reasons, not gonna do anything related to it ever. I'm gonna do as much as I can to keep myself from using it as much as possible. The most I use is Discord. To use Instagram for self demotivation. I guess so. Because I know, like, I see how some of my friends. Since most what I use Instagram for is following my friends and stuff like that, and other people I used to know. A lot of them seem to be doing weirdly well. So that's like the only demotivation I have in regards to it. But at the end of the day, I could care less. The most I could see is like, at least they're doing all right, and that's about it. But so far, at least for my close friends, a lot of the times they either rarely post on Instagram and only use it for messaging, or they have like a set thing they only do, and that's about it. But so far, at least at the end of the day, when it comes to social media related stuff, especially for live streaming, I'm just hoping YouTube slowly becomes the better live streaming platform. My only complaint is just the functions for redirect and the requirements. Because really enough, I really like what they do with the requirement, the redirecting feature that YouTube has, especially in regards to like video, because one of the things I've seen in the videos as an example of it is not only can you use like the regular Twitch rating feature, but not only that, I can also use it as a way to like prepare like videos, because you know how videos nowadays you can have the premiering function. I could do it if I ever had this function. I mean, not only does YouTube have like a trailer function too, which I really want. That seems really cool. But not only that, before like a video is about to premiere, I could live stream before the video comes out. Which basically would probably be like a just chatting thing. That'll be like a good time to do just chatting related streams. So by the time like the video is about to be ready to premiere, I can just redirect and raid that video. And I think that is such a cool way to do it. Like I just don't know what and the thing is, the fact that this feature is locked to certain people who can make these certain requirements is a criminal, because I want it. Apparently StudyTube is a thing. I now watch handsome dudes study for an hour straight. Okay, why is that a thing? I mean, it's not the weirdest thing. Apparently in the Minecraft side of things, there's ASMR PvP like keyboard clicking noise ASMR videos for Minecraft PvP. How is that a thing? And the fact that those get good views too. Like ASMR can be like the weirdest like genre of like content people can make, and yet there's a weird market for it, because people can either do that Or you know what I could do? I could probably post this on my second channel if I wanted. I could just make an entire video of me just playing Minecraft. You just no commentary whatsoever. Just I can just have Minecraft music, Minecraft sounds just playing for the entire like video. Upload it to my second channel and it can somehow get views. I don't know. People are weird. I didn't even know who Dream was until I saw his fans. Ooh, you poor child. You poor child. Given the stuff I find in regards to like I don't know, when it comes to content nowadays, it's like there's literally no I can barely find anyone who's in the in-between section of like what they want for content. You can either be the people who have like these weird like short attention spans who are just so engrossed with TikTok and short videos. You can be those type of people, or people who really like the really long video type of content. But a lot of them are just like don't really have like but are like just the most chill laid back content too. So it's just like there's literally no in between with these people. It can be either one or the other. And it makes me think to myself what's even the point of trying to make like well edited or organized videos? I don't know. That's just those two type of people, I guess. But there's not really a lot of people who are like in that in between or just whatever. I like the long. I mean, I kind of do too, but even I have standards when it comes to this. Oh, like for example, I'll show you a good example. I kind of watch this guy a little bit sometimes. What's it called? But he does. There are some people I do watch like this who do, because weirdly enough, there's this weird meta going around where people make these really well edited and organized videos. But the biggest catch is that a lot of times these are like at minimum 40 minutes, maximum hours. And I say for someone who is also a video editor, that is very much dedication, and I very much applaud the person who can literally sit down and edit a video that spans over hours. But at the same time, why? Why would you ever put yourself in a position? For example, let me see if I can find it. I'm kind of still in the middle of trying to watch it because the person who does make it is pretty interesting to make in the video. Plus, it's about a show that I haven't watched since I was like younger. But this person, here it is. This, what's it called? If you remember all the videos back in the day called, iCarly and stuff like that, those band of video, of like sitcom Nickelodeon shows, I remember watching those all the time, that and Victorious. And I think I remember there was another one called Sam and Cat. I remember watching that, but I don't remember much about it. Then I found this guy that I watched a couple of times. I'm not subscribed for some odd reason. His name is Quentin Reviews. And he decided to make a video about the stuff for surrounding Sam and Cat. And I remember watching his iCarly and Victorious related one. So I figured that I'll watch it later. Not only did but here's the funny thing. I put his thing out and save on my save watch later playlist, and I somehow did not see this until afterwards. But the moment I put in my watch later, that's when I realized that this video is over 5 hours long. Why? Why is this video screwed? Yeah. Dream stands are another beast in itself, and I don't want I don't want any part of them. They're definitely so scary. They make weird content, especially when they use poor. Oh yeah, that's right. Don't even get me started with Technoblade. I forgot some of the people are weird with that. But yeah, but this video is 5 hours long. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it whenever I get the chance to continue with it. But really, 5 hours long. like not only like not only is this gonna be like something you're literally gonna have to sit down and get like a bag of popcorn to watch this, but the person, I commend you, Quentin Reviews, for being able to sit down, not only get footage, find footage, put it and edit together, probably in Adobe Premiere Pro, and depending on how well your computer goes, it probably might be difficult to edit on that thing because of, you know, sometimes it crashes. Which probably with a lot of different stuff, both have to record and script, putting it all together, which probably a lot of bloopers, a lot of different stuff that you probably don't need, which probably spanned even more than that. Finally putting it together into an edited pack over to make it 5 hours. I commend you. Not only that, but he also has to render and export it, which I don't even know how many gigabytes, how much data and storage that probably is going to be. I mean, sure, you probably had to. I mean, I'm sure you prepared that already, but man, like that would probably suck too. If the moment after you made this video, be like, oh, there goes all my hard work. Time to finally upload this video, and then it probably gets demonetized or for some weird reason or age restricted, and it's just like, and then that would probably piss me off even more too. I'm hoping it's not demonetized. That man needs to get his money. That thing is 5 hours long and there's already almost 2 million views right now. He better get his money with that. But yeah, I commend people who couldn't even make videos like that, because I can't see myself do that. Like even if I want to make, even when I want to make really well edited like funny videos, I try my best to not like make it more than 15 minutes. Technoblade was a legend in a sort of way. It symbolizes the death of the Minecraft community. Yeah, I remember watching him a good chunk back in the day. Not within like the newest generation. Not in the newest generation who watching Minecraft nowadays. I remember watching him back in the day, but until like the new era of people who started watching Minecraft, I never could get down with his content. But I could see why they liked him. But honestly, the way how he went out, and everything, still being the same jokingly guy, that's something you can definitely give a salute to. That's all I could say. You have to be crazy to make a video that, like, yes. Yeah, max 40 minutes for me. Even if I was making a documentary, yeah, at least like at most maybe an hour. But my recommended amount will definitely be 40 minutes. Yeah, they probably want to say, yeah, they never say why. Because as much as I like YouTube, they still have a bunch of different issues, especially that whole thing with like what's freaking whatever Corey with the guy Corey and all that. So yeah, that's a whole ordeal in itself. Jellybean and wait, what the heck? Who the heck is that other guy? I think I know what you're talking about with the who is this person? Huh? Who in the what? I don't even know if I want to go into this now, but this is basically just that's probably a whole nother. The weird thing about it is that most of her, if this is the right person, her character is based off of a character from Madoka Magica too. I'm getting. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm gonna get a hunch. I'm gonna get the hunch that, despite the fact this person character is based off of Madoka Magica, I'm getting the hunch. I'm gonna bet that this person hasn't even watched it, or is even into it too. My God. I don't know. Whatever how YouTube's gonna be, you're just gonna have to abide by it and see where it goes. I'm just more gonna lead towards YouTube than Twitch. That's all I can say. Yeah. I was gonna get to a point. Get things off in a little bit. Before I do, there's actually one last thing I probably want to mention. Which I don't know, some person named Meowbwa, something like that. I don't know what's his deal. In all honesty, but one last thing I probably do want to mention though. Speaking of Twitch, is because I don't know how much you look or find out of the certain things that goes on within Twitch's weird decision makings, especially when it comes to suspension and bans. Speaking of the bans, first of all, why did Twitch even call them bans in the first place? In reality, they're more suspensions, because a lot of the times, like, they say, like, oh, anytime a person gets caught into something, it's like, oh, this person is banned, and it'd be like, okay, and it'll be like, okay, I guess the person won't be making content. And then you find out it's like, oh yeah, I'm only gonna be gone for like 3 days, and then I'm back on the platform. I'll be like, then that's not a ban, that's a suspension. And like that's the weird thing. I don't know if people found this out, but a lot of the times, like, they end up switching the terminologies between ban and suspension. So in other words, like, normally when a person is banned off of Twitch, that's normally a suspension, because when they're banned, they're actually usually banned for usually for a day, 2 days, 3 days, even a week, and then they're back on the platform. But then the moment they're banned off completely, then they're suspended because technically their account is suspended. So I wonder if there's a reason for it. I could probably search it up right now, but if there isn't a reason for it, I find that completely stupid on how so normally if the person's banned on Twitch, no, they're suspended. They're suspended for a little while. But then when they're suspended, no, they're actually banned off the platform. Yeah, I know. And he said I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to the N word, I don't really care too much about it. I think it just depends on the context and everything. It's nap time. Okay. Well, I'm technically about to end it off in a little bit too, because like I said, short stream. Especially with because even though it's actually getting cooler now, it's still relatively warm. I don't even know what degrees it right now actually is. I think it's just probably one more thing I'm gonna mention before I do end it off. Go away. Okay, now it's like 80 something ish degrees, so it should be a lot better now. But I'll probably see what's the dealio with this meow ball or something, because I'm actually kind of curious. But anyways, speaking of like the whole thing I was mentioning about the bans and suspensions, as I probably search up why they switched the terminology, I'm probably gonna make a video off of this at some point, so stay tuned for that. But I'm still debating on how I want to do this. But there's a video. I don't know what kind of style of video this is. But there's a video. I don't know how much I can say this because it is a bit not safe for worky. But there's this one guy who made a video series called Hentai or Not. The whole premise of this. See you, Luna. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully to see you for. Depending on how it might go tomorrow, I might have to push back tomorrow's stream, but it should be fine. Because the only way if I ever end up having to push back tomorrow's stream, it's only because of schoolwork, which I'll probably have to do after once I'm done with streaming today. But so far, the person who made the Hentai or Not video, the whole purpose of that video was basically taking a bunch of people and basically they kind of have to guess like if the character in question is from a hentai or not, pretty much. I know weird premise. It's funny video, but weird premise. Basically, my version of the video itself is gonna be like that, except it's gonna be based off of Twitch bans. So basically, the whole point of the video is basically I take two different events that happen on Twitch that either has been banned or not, and I'll have my people in the video kind of guess like either which event has the ban or which ban was worse. And I think that'll probably be a really fun video. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it's a genius video, and I don't know if anyone's ever done it. So if anyone hasn't done it yet, I'll be the first, and I'm gonna feel so good about it. I just don't know how am I gonna do it, because in my head I'm either thinking of having one specific group of people and constantly do it with them, or I'm gonna start like going through different groups in question within this whole video and recording, and then put it together. That's the only issue I'm having. I just know if I do the second thing, it may be way more entertaining, but maybe be a lot longer to do. But it depends on how I'm gonna do it. That's like the moment I decide, I can start gathering people to do it, and then of course everything, like, it just goes from there. But I think it might be a really funny video because the whole point is mostly just to get people's reactions on what they think about it, especially for people who are not too versed with Twitch, and then maybe get like a dialogue to start or something like that. Oh yeah. If you want to be down to do so, Olin, that'd be great. So yeah. So at some point that'll come to be the case. That'll be something I'll probably just have to, because the only thing I need to do at that point is pretty much just do some research, and then of course like just have to figure out which is which. Which to go with which, blah 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 blah, and everything. Because so far from everyone I pitched the idea to some people, they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. We can't wait to do it. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the main last thing I kind of wanted to mention. Oh yeah. That's pretty much the last thing. What's the difference between ban and suspension? The number of your followers may be lower as a result of suspension, but they will renew after a few hours. Indefinite suspension means that you're permanently banned from using the streaming service. The number of followers the number of followers may be lower as a result of the suspension, but they will renew after a few hours. Indefinite suspension means you're permanently banned from using the streaming service. If you commit a more serious violation like impersonating someone or cheating, you can get instantly banned. I don't think that still doesn't really I mean, in reality, it's still, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not even gonna look like. I'm not even gonna try and think about that. In all honesty, it's gonna hurt my brain. And all that stuff. Like, well, in any case, I think I'll probably end it off for today. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I've been really enjoying like these just chatting related streams. I guess it's just no harm, no foul to not have to like play games and stuff like that, and just have a nice sit down and talk. I mean, sure, it was kind of hard to do so in this heat, but weirdly enough, it's not too bad. Not too bad. But in any case, I think that's probably it for today. I doubt there's anyone I can. Yep, of course. But well, all I can say, if things go according to plan, then I'll definitely be seeing you. In regards to stream tomorrow. I'll probably might have to bring back the time a bit. I'll probably depending on I'll definitely keep you guys updated. So of course, if you follow my Twitter or whatever, I'll definitely keep you updated and stuff like that. I'll even probably make sure to update it on the free chat section where I actually have like the thumbnail for the schedule thing. But if things go according to plan, there's no pushback or issues, time should be fine. If not, at worst, at most, I'll just end up pushing the time back. But at worst, I'll probably have to just cancel the stream entirely. But it should be fine. Yeah, so no harm, no foul. But in any case, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna go probably make some more coffee, work on some schoolwork, maybe try and edit something afterwards if I'm not too tired. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I'll be seeing y'all later. You guys take care. If you guys are in the West Coast section, make sure to hydrate all that, and if you got that AC, use it well, because Lord knows I am envious. But yeah, bye man. It was as usual really fun. I'm glad. Hope you guys will see you guys next time. You guys have a good rest of your day. I'll be seeing y'all. Peace out, mites. Have a good one.